Hello, hello. Hope everyone is doing really good. I apologize that I'm a little late. Or 30 minutes late. That's all on me. It's always on me. So I'm just gonna give it a sec. Little Palo Santo. Get everything kind of situated. Hey, Sarah. And put this baby up here. Just cleansing the area because I don't know anyone's energy and y'all don't know mine, so we're gonna play it safe both ways. I hope everyone is ready. Again, I really apologize. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Ooh, Jody. Yeah, I love it. Okay. And I'm just gonna say this right now. I apologize if you hear screaming in the background. They're the boys playing video games as always. And you know they're never quiet. Ever. Hey, everyone. All right. Oh, no, you're good, Jackie. So I'm just gonna give it a couple because like I said, I'm a little behind and I think I'm twisted. Let me just change and fix this. Okay, so, you know, while we're waiting, we are gonna do some clarification or some differences between 3 different types of magic. So I hope you guys are ready. I thought I'd throw this in there because I've had a lot of questions when it comes to my practice and like how you differentiate. And tonight, even though I say we're going to differentiate between 3 different types of practices, we are actually going to throw a third one in there, and you're going to see why, because one of them is broken into 2 ways, or 2 sections, or 2 styles. So I want that to be a clarification too, because if you Google these 3 terms, you're going to get different things for different ones. And we're going to go through and I'm going to explain why it all gets jumbled up, and a lot of people just blend things together, or they just go left field and you're like, whoa, where'd you get that? So yeah. And oh, hey Jen, I have not read your messages yet. It's been a really busy day, like really busy. And I apologize, but I promise I'll check your text messages as soon as I'm done. As soon as I get a sec, I promise. All right, so we're talking about dragons. So I hope you're ready, okay? And yes, it is a mythological creature. But when you are a dragon practitioner, and I say that as an umbrella term, there's a... Stop it, Jen. Brood. There's a lot of things that fall under dragon practitioner. And a lot of people sometimes will just say, yes, I work with the dragons. Yes, you know, this and that. Well, there's so much more to that. Just like any practice, there are subcategories to it. And I want to, sorry, we got a lot of feed going up. And I want to break it down because the ones that want to work within this practice, I want you to know where to look or be able to recognize incorrect information. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So dragons are my thing. If you don't know me, they are like the main focus of my practice. Now, why did I choose dragons? Let me just explain that first, okay? I didn't. They chose me. And when I say that is every movie, every book, dreams, my husband coming into my life and having a fascination and love of dragons, and he has a huge dragon blanket that we still have to this day that I sleep with now. He had dragon figurines, just like little things, you know, that his mom bought him over the years. Just little things that kind of came into focus and came into play that were extra signs for me. So the love of them was always there. The curiosity of them was always there. No, it's okay, Sarah. Don't even worry. It's always here on the replay. I promise. So that's when I started going, okay, well, can you use dragons in magic? Like, is that a thing? And voila, my research went on. Now, when I got to start in work, doing research, old school libraries or word of mouth, come to find out over the years that dragon practitioners is a very individual based practice where there is limited, and I say this very, very clarifying, like limited research and information on it. Why? Because when the dragons want you to know information, they're going to tell you and only you based on your practice. So just like we always say, witchcraft is all individual for everyone. When it comes to dragon practitioners, you don't really give the information away unless they want you to. And it's very rare that they want you to, because they want everyone else to do the work and have the interest and the drive to work within it itself, okay? So it is a little hard. And I remember I was trying to do this live once before, and I did back out because, one, I didn't think a lot of people were ready. It's one of those cases. And I was kind of, in a dreamlike way, told not to do it yet. But here I am, and I think we're okay now because I haven't gotten any signs from them saying that, hey, you shouldn't do this. So we're going to do this, okay? So you're going to see me refer to my notes, and now let me tell you, my notes are my own, okay? Let me clarify that. The research I've done is out of all of my own books, and these are just some, by the way, okay? And it's been information gathered from other practitioners from my journals that I have to the left of me. I did find small information on one author that I think you guys would be interested in starting as a basis. And I'm going to give you some information on her, okay? And some of you already know her, and her books are very popular, so you might already know her. But I'm not going to talk about that yet because we haven't gotten to Draconian yet. Okay, so is everyone ready? I hope we're ready. Okay, the three things we're going to talk about today: dragon magic, draconic magic, and draconian magic. They are all different, okay? You do your Google research, and they're going to sit there and tell you that dragon magic and draconic magic are the same. They are not, and let me tell you why, okay? So dragon magic is solely working with a dragon, okay? So think of it this way: a dragon being, which is, we're going to get to that. A dragon being is assisting you in your magic, and this is how it assists you: with knowledge, with confidence. It's a booster, okay? Things like that. They're not doing the work for you. They're giving you guidance into the work. They're giving you, yes, this is a good idea, or you might want to look at this a little differently, or this might not be ready for you, kind of thing, okay? So they're there to work within you, or I'm sorry, work with you, okay? Not for you. Now, a lot of dragon magic follow a guide, okay? So they always say that everyone is born with a dragon, just like everyone's born with an angel or a demon. They say everyone is born with a dragon. I slightly disagree. And why I say I slightly disagree is because I feel that when you call or evoke into the dragon realm, one of them will come to test you and see if you guys are a good fit. Then, if you guys work well together, he'll stay probably for the rest of your life, unless you do something wrong to offend him, because they are very prideful and they don't like you to go against them or to harm them or try and be sneaky with them, because they will leave you forever and they'll cut off the whole realm to you. Because I can't mix what I practice in with what I'm telling you. So if you see me hesitate on my terminology, it's because I don't want to give you incorrect information just because I work solely within the last path that we're going to talk about. But this is the basis of where I started to, and then branched and branched and branched until I ended up where I am. So there are other practitioners that are like, I've always had a guide, I've always had a guide, I've always had a guide. Okay, if you feel that way, you probably do. And it was probably something you were able to gather probably as a young child, because we are more sensitive as a child, right? But you have to evoke them, call them, work with them, show them their loyalty to them solely for them to really stay. At least that's my personal, where I've noticed. I was never just like, oh, look, or something is there, you know, an astral being, woohoo. No, I had to work into it, and it was really, really hard. Sherry says, so with dragons, it's basically making sure you are worthy of their knowledge and time, 100%. Now, a lot of dragon practitioners like to say, that dragon magic is a high ceremonial style path. It's not. It's really not. Are there people that prefer to do ceremonial workings? Yes. A lot of coven-based dragon practitioners love working within what they call a clan. And they do more ceremonial, very high magic and stuff, which is fantastic. I was never lucky to have anyone around me that would work within the same dragon high magic. So I never got to experience that. But I've only heard things about that. So don't 100% quote me, because again, I've never worked within the clans. But they do. You know, there are some that do high ceremonial. But it's not the case. You don't have to do it, okay? It's an individual-based practice, as are the other two that we're going to talk about, all right? Now, some say that dragon magic and draconic magic are interchangeable in terms. Yes and no. Here's why I say that, okay? Because draconic magic is you still work with dragons in a non-physical, astral form, but you also work in their energy. They lend you their energy in draconic, okay? So you see how that is? It can be interchangeable because both dragon magic and draconic magic are working with dragons in the non-physical, astral being. Yes. But there's an extension with draconic where you're adding their energy to it. So you get to use their energy, draw from their energy to do your practice. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. In my head, it makes a lot more sense. Okay? Moving this a little closer because I feel weird far away. Let me see. Make sure I didn't forget before I jump. Okay? Now, you're going to hear a lot of phrases when it comes to, like, dragon magic is dancing with dragons. And there's actually a book called Dancing with Dragons, and it's by DJ Conway. But she actually is a draconic Wiccan. And most of her books, actually all of her books that I've read, which I had them at one time, I passed them on because they just weren't for me. They're very Wiccan-based. I don't do Wicca. I don't believe in one god, one goddess, or in Draconic Wiccan, it's one dragon goddess and one dragon god. I don't do that. I believe in multiples, just like I believe now in multiples of everything. That's what I believe. But Dancing with Dragons is like one of the dragon magic and Draconic Wiccan lifestyles, if that makes sense. They always consider, you know, you don't work with dragons, you dance with dragons. It's like their phrase. It's really annoying. I'm like, you work with them. You're working with them, okay? But they say they dance with them. So, I mean, it's cool if you want to think of you, you know, in that astral realm dancing with them. So it's kind of cool. Don't mind me. Making sure I said everything I wanted to, which for dragon magic, I did. Because, again, you can't get more clear or more understanding of, hey, I want to call the dragons to help me in protection. So like a lot of dragon magic is also elemental based too. So they have certain dragons for certain elements to call, and usually the 4 quarters, that's when you would call on them. But when I first started and I called upon them, I just said, Dragon Guardian of the North, Dragon Guardian of the East, because I didn't know the names as easily as I do now, like Grail and all them. But back then, I did what I had to, and they're not mad, and they'll never be mad, because you're putting an effort in there and you're really trying. So what I recommend if you work within dragon magic, I really think that you need to focus on the elements with the dragons and focus on the dragon guides and guardians. That's where you're going to get a lot of information, because they're going to give you a knowledge. You're going to give you that basis of, let me help you in this. Let me guide you. Let me teach you, there is, no, I'm sorry, not in dragon magic. In Draconic magic, which is what we're moving into now, okay? They actually have a Draconic creed, or if you look at a Wiccan, there's a Draconic Wiccan read also. Yes, there's 2 separates, and they're both Draconic. And that's mostly because when you work with the energy, they want you to be able to look at it like reground yourself, reset yourself. Don't hold on to excess energy, push it out, because if you take too much energy from a dragon, it's overpowering, it's overstimulating, it's just too much. And then again, if you follow the Wiccan read, it's more literally Wiccan based. So if you know the Wiccan read, you'll know the dragon Wiccan read, because it's almost identical, just with dragons. And I can't give you too much information on Wicca part of it, because I never practiced within it. The only thing, which I'm going to refer my notes, because this stuff I did get online, and I want you to know that, okay? When you look at Wicca, they follow 2 main gods, a goddess and a god, but it's a dragon form, of course. And then all others are of lesser value to them. So think of it like, the alpha and the beta. Everyone else is inferior to them. They are the highest ruling supreme. Everything has to go through them. However, do not try and evoke them, because that's going to offend them, because they don't feel, unless you work with the higher magic, you're not adequate enough to pull from them. So they want you to use their knights and lesser beings to pull their energy before trying to initiate any type of contact, honestly, with those 2 higher. It is also nature-based, the Wicca side. It's very nature-based and incorporates a lot of the principles of Wicca. I'm just reading, make sure I didn't say anything different. Yeah. And just know that dragons, no matter if it's dragon magic, draconic magic, all dragons have a personality. Dragon magic is more light-based. It's very happy, very, yeah, it's just happy. It's very light-based. Draconic, you can have balance, and I like that about Draconic, because it is a yin and yang. And you're going to get a lot from both sides, okay? Because you got certain types of dragons that are working on the shadow side of things. Then you have a lot of dragons that work on the, and quote me, because this is a real thing, rainbow dragons. It's a lighter base too. So you have the darker and you have the lighter. They have element dragons also. They have cosmo dragons. They have oh, come on, brain. Hold on. I already have this typed out too, because I don't work within it. Oh, come on. Chaos and destruction dragons within Draconic. And then yeah. Yeah, I've said all the rest. Right. But again, that's Draconic magic. The Wicca, like I said, if you want to do some Wicca research, there's tons of books out there. Read DJ Conway's books, Dancing with Dragons, and then she has Dragon's Path, and then I think there's like another one that she had, or maybe it was just two. Can't remember. But read those. 100% Wiccan based. It's really great. I think it's a fantastic starter book. My personal preference, I don't do it, but I don't look at everything light based, and I find 100% facts in balance. Okay. Now, a good balance book for Draconic magic / dragon magic is going to be this one right here. All right. This is a fantastic book. It is written by Joshua Free, just so you know. Okay. It's a hardback book too. You get it on Amazon. But if you want to read in Draconic, this is a really good starter book. Okay. That's why I pulled it out of my collection. Now, also with Draconic, let me pull in my notes so I don't forget. All right. Remember, you're working with energies. Okay. Know what energy is first. Don't even try to work in Draconic magic, or Draconic path as they call it. Because if you don't understand energy and where to pull energy from, how to store energy, how to release energy, how to regulate energy, basing off chakras, by the way, it is not the path to work in. Okay. If you pull too much energy to one chakra, I'm going to use those as an example because that's the easiest way to hone things. Okay. You're overloading that area because you don't know how to get rid of it. You don't know how to control it. Okay. You are never to keep dragon energy within yourself in a Draconic path. Ever. It's dangerous to everything. Okay. It's going to make you angry. It's going to make you feel like you're running a marathon. When you crash from them, like from the energy when it finally depletes itself within you, you're going to feel like you've been hit with a Mack truck. I guarantee this, okay? Everyone's going to annoy you, 100%. And you're going to feel like everything you worked on was for nothing because it's a reset now. If you can't control it, you can't work in it, okay? So I recommend before working in Draconic path, understand where energy is, understand the different types of energy. And I'm not talking about Kundalini, by the way, because we're going to talk about that in the next one. But I'm talking about like your Qi, your Qi, your Qigong, all those, okay? Understand the balance that we need. But the biggest thing too is understand how to pull from source, and source as in dragon, okay? So when you work with energy and you manipulate energy, you're actually going to pull it from something else. Pulling it from your own energy is, I personally, and I say personally, would never recommend using your own energy unless you have an abundance of energy or you're a creator of energy, which it's very rare to be a creative energy, but there are 100% practitioners out there that can create energy and have an abundance of it. Most of us have to pull from something else. So trees, earth, the sun, the moon. That's why when you when you do rituals and you try to put a protection around you, the energy you use for protection and you speak it is coming from somewhere. A crystal, a candle, the flame, the wind if it's an incense. You see what I'm saying? It's coming from somewhere. And that's great because you don't have to worry about you being drained the next 2 or 3 days later and going, oh my gosh, what happened? Okay? So learn energy magic first. Learn energy workings first before tapping into this, because this Draconic path is 100% energy based. Okay? One thing also with DJ Conway's books, and I want to say this with the Wicca part because I almost forgot about it, is she used a term, and I've heard this so much. I've taken dragon classes multiple times, all right? And I'm so tired of hearing this. The term Monte is not a real term for Dragon Guardian. It is DJ Conway's term for Dragon Guardian that she created. Okay? There is no record, no history, nothing on it in the past. There's no recording of it of dragons needing or having to be called a Monte if they're your guardian. So when you read her books, just know that's her term. And if a dragon answers to Monte, okay. I have never had a dragon answer to Monte because they have their own names. And they will tell you their names when they feel you're ready to know their names. So keep that in mind, okay? That's another thing that, like, Wicked kind of throws me off because there's not many, books on dragon magic. It's literally hearsay, passed down, or if you're lucky to get into a coven or a temple or some type of group that specializes in it, it's really hard to get information, and that's okay. Because sometimes it's better if you just talk personally with the dragon and then you learn everything on your own. So let me pull up these comments because I know I'm a little behind. Oh, yeah, the title was very backwards. And I'll take pictures if you want to. That's not an issue. Of the books I have. But like I said, anything by DJ Conway, you can find on her books on Amazon. It's really great. Yes, Sherry. Yes. This is be exactly where a servitor would be a good idea to use. Jen says, I made that mistake. My first spell was to pull completely from my own energy because I wasn't practiced enough with channeling. That didn't go well. And I've been there, done that multiple times. Still, sometimes have to realize where I'm directing my energy from. Some things are good to pull your energy from. Some things are not. Which Gina did a live on energy, by the way. So if you want to have like a refresher on energy workings, type in energy at the little search bar in the group and see if it comes up. And Gina's the one who did it. It was fantastic. Her work on energy is amazing. She knows her stuff, I promise. No, you're all good. So when are you going to write one? Future you. Oh, you mean a dragon book? Ooh, funny thing is my husband and I talk about it all the time. He's like, you have so much information, but all my stuff is my practice. And I hate telling people like what to believe or like this is a fact because it's never a fact. It's just my personal preference. But I wouldn't mind making a book because I'm very neutral on my information, which as you can see. And I would love to give a basis like we're doing right now, but in book form. So, I mean, it's not a bad idea, I'm not gonna lie. And Stephanie, and that's okay, because not everyone believes in the mythological beings of dragons. Just like some people don't believe in sirens. Some people don't believe in harpies. You know what I mean? So it's completely understandable, and that's fine, because not everyone's going to practice and work within the same thing. Some people are just linked to certain lands that are connected to dragons. Some people are just linked to certain realms or dimensions or tunnels or caves where dragons once were. Because if you look at all the cultures, you're going to find dragons almost everywhere. Look at all the different cultures. You'll find some form of dragon, whether it's the dragon, the drakes with the wings, or the vasculus style, which is like the serpent style. You will find it somewhere, okay? So they once existed. It's just a matter of when. And where'd they go? Or are they hiding? Is there a dimensional break we don't know about? It's things like that. And that stuff, it fascinates me, where I have to know, I have to find out. Sherry's like, you really should help those of us that are clueless. I'm working on it, girl. I'm working on it. Exactly. I absolutely love you guys. And like I said, it happens, and one day you might run into someone that, you know, is a dragon practitioner, and then you have something to talk about too. So you kind of have like a little bit of basis, and then, you know, you could just chit chat and stuff. It's almost fun. Now, where do we leave off? So energy base is Draconic. Okay. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to say. So also with Draconic, know that dragons are looked as a higher being, and there's multiple. It's not just a god and a goddess like the Wiccan. They believe in multiple have a higher power. So if you work within the shadow or chaos or destructive dragons, they have their own hierarchy, but they're all very similar. It's kind of like Knights of the Round Table. Even though King Arthur was head of the table, they all were equal at the table. Does that make sense? And that's how Draconic path is when they have their different types or styles of dragons. Remember, you have your light dragons, you have your shadow dragons, your chaos, your destruction, you have your elemental dragons, you have your healing dragons, which are also known as the blue dragons. Dragons that represent with the sun, dragons of the moon. Literally, you have dragon for everything. Think of it that way. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on that one. I already told you about disrespecting dragons. If you disrespect a dragon, it's one and done. Like, you don't get a second chance. There is no groveling. There's no forgiving. It's literally like, this is how it is. You messed up. But you really got to mess up. Like, you got to, like, betray them in some way. Also, though, like I said, because it focuses solely on energy, it is not a path to take lightly. Because if you mess up with the energy, it could ruin you as a practitioner, okay? And man, I hate saying it like that, but I mean, it's true. And I've seen it, okay? And I've heard horror stories from other practitioners on some of my groups that I'm part of. It's not always pretty, but it makes sense, okay? Like, if your energy's messed up, it's messed up. Now, little side thing too, when it comes to working with dragons, even if it's just dragon magic or draconic magic. Statues, like things like this. Okay, this is my little bookshelf. Kind of just hangs off the bookshelf. Little souvenirs like that. Crystals that represent dragons. Like, obviously, dragon's blood jasper is a must-have if you work with dragons. Bloodstone is another one if you work with dragons. Septarian, serpentine. Then if you want to break it into the like element-based, fire quartz, Lumeria, because they solely represent elements. Always great to have, okay? I have dragons everywhere. Like, and don't mind my messy house, okay, guys? But just to show you my bookshelf, skulls and dragons. Skulls and dragons. Okay. I literally have dragons in the most random places. Random places you can find. Okay. I have them on my walls. And actually, let me get Mr. Yin and Yang here. And I'm going to show you a symbol that is fantastic for Draconic path, by the way. If you see something like this, okay, double, it's really good for balance representation of Draconic, okay? The good and the bad, all right? The yin and the yang. So if you work with Draconic path, getting one of these to help represent is fantastic, okay? Let's see, what else? What did I leave off of? But yeah, figurines, crystals. Trying to think if there would be anything else. Like, I'm so obsessed, guys, with dragons that I even have, like, book holders and stuff for them. Yeah, and that's just a little bit. Like, you haven't even seen my crystal collection of dragon skulls and stuff. Or dragon crystals. I've looked a lot. Okay? But if you want a list of, like, the different types of crystals that represent dragons, send me a message and I'll definitely get you that information as far as that. Okay? Ooh, perfect. So, here's a side note. A little something about me that you're gonna realize. I hate eggs. Which is funny because I work with dragons. The dragons are born from eggs. I hate eggs. I have one egg. I lied. I have 2 eggs. I have one upstairs on one of my altars, and I have one down here on the dragon altar. That's a great symbolism. Rebirth, knowledge, invoking. It's really good for invoking. I just personally don't like them. I have them because I know I need it to help. I just don't like them. But eggs are fantastic. Hey, Lucas, can you do me a favor? Oh, you're not going very far. Right here around the corner, where Mommy's dragons are, on the second shelf, there's a red dragon egg that's like this big in the back. Can you just grab it for me? I'll show you. This was actually made for me. You see it, Bubba? It's red. It should be on the second shelf in the back corner. I think the right.
Is it the one with like the big plate?
I see. It looks like a dragon egg. It's red.
Oh. Oh.
Bear with me.
Is it?
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's my dragon egg. This was handmade, and actually it's made with thumbtacks. No lie. And then just painted, and then of course, you know, with black outline. But this is my egg. It's one of 2 that I own. The other one is a little, the egg breaks apart and it's like a little storage, little treasure thing. You put pretty treasures. I put crystals in them. But that sits upstairs in my Lilith altar. Draga, stop. Oh, and if you didn't know, I have a dog that I named Draga. She has, come here, Draga. Baby girl, come here. Come here. Come here.
Go. He's not calling you.
Gosh, you're so big. Oh. Okay. So this is Draga. Is she a big girl? Yes, I know. I love you too. Okay. So yeah. So this is her, and I named her. I named her Draga because, you know, I work with dragons, and it's only fitting that I have that. And she has amber eyes, which remind me of flames. So absolutely pretty. Does anyone have any questions between dragon and draconic magic? And now we're going to move on to what I actually practice. But I want to wait and see if anyone has any questions first. Shh, Lukey. Thanks, guys. She's ornery. And she has a tail that's like a whip and it hurts.
Yeah.
Alright, so if no one has any questions, let's move on. Lucas Jacob! Get up! Get up. You know she's gonna jump. Get up. 1. Draga, get down. Hey, you see I'm live. What did your dad tell you? Okay, so Draconic magic. Draconic magic is 100% a left-handed path magic. Now, if you don't know what left-handed path or right-handed path means, what is that? Is that your watch? Go turn it off. Right-handed path is solely mostly for helping others or healing based or what you can do for someone else. A left-handed path is a very selfish path. It is about you. It is about you focusing on your highest good and not caring about anyone else and how they're gonna be perceived through. That's just a very simple base. There's way more to them, but that's what it is. It's selfish. Okay, so left-handed path 100% is a dark path, as some say. It is not meant to be light. There is no balance. It is dark for a reason. Okay, it is a godhood style path. That is what Draconian magic falls in. Draconian magic is a magic that is based with using what they call a current, a dragon current or Draconian current. And it is the energy that comes from the dragon force. It comes from serpent force, but that is representation of an inner force and an outer force. So where do you get your energy from? Someone else or what you pulled in? Does that make sense? Okay. It is a manipulative type of path. When I say inner and outer. Inner, what the energy I pulled in, I'm utilizing and manipulating my way. Outer force is the energy around me. I'm manipulating into what I want. Okay, so there's where you get the inner and outer. It's still all energy related, but you're pulling it from inner or outer. Now, the path is a destructive, self-empowerment, all about me, transformation style of creation and death and chaos. I'm not lying. So whole main basis is one, you got to give up everything. Very dedicated path. Once you're working within the currents or Draconian magic, you're in that until you're ready to branch. How long does it usually take to branch? A few years. Yeah, a few years to branch, okay? I'm finally able to branch past the current, but it's not easy at all, okay? It works a lot with Kundalini energy, if you know what that is, which is serpent energy. And there's a few different places in the United States, I know 100%, that have Kundalini energy, that you can go to those locations and pull it from, meditate with it. Then I have only heard of places in Ireland and the UK. I'm trying to think where it's at. That pull with Kundalini energy. So if you can find an area, you can work within Kundalini energy. Now, Kundalini energy isn't a Draconian magic type of energy, by the way, okay? It's for all practices. But Draconian sometimes like to refer to Kundalini energy because of the snake symbolism that it has, and because of the fire energy that it gives off, because that is also what Draconic magic is. It is a fire style energy. Yes, when you say current, a lot of people think of water, but it's not. It's actually water and fire type of current, okay? The yin and the yang. You see where the balance of that comes into play? But that's also giving you the inner and the outer, okay? So you got the fire with the water, that's the inner, the outer, you got the balance. But again, it's a dark magic path. It is, it is what it is. When you work within this path, a lot of your information is going to come from visions when you meditate or you do rituals or any type of workings within. There's a lot of journaling that is involved. You're going to hear a lot of noise within your mind that you're not sure if it's real or just your imagination. So I always recommend having some type of meditation music in the background to help. Oh, that piece of hair, it's driving me crazy. Some type of meditation music in the background that is more zen, not high pitched, not high, what's the word I'm looking at? Not that high frequency. You want a lower frequency type of music or something in the background. And that helps, okay? When it also comes in Draconian magic, the deities they're deities. That's another difference between the other two, is they have dragons of this, dragons of that, or dragon god, dragon goddess, where in Draconian magic, you have spirit dragons and you have deity dragons, okay? Or deities themselves that have an embodiment of some form of dragon style. Example. All right, this is going to throw y'all off. Ready? Lilith. She follows into the Draconian current, or Draconian magic. Lucifer. Belial. Hecate, or Hecate, as some people call her. Tiamat. Leviathan. Okay? And there's a few more. There's Arachna. She's the newest one I'm attempting to learn about. However, I just can't do it because I hate spiders. I'm terrified of spiders. Yet, one of my deities is Loki, and one of his symbolisms is spiders. Funny, because they're always around me. I hate spiders. But they do fall in the Draconian current, okay? Now, the Draconian current also uses heavy symbolism of a dark tree, or what they call the Quithoth. And that's the tree, okay? So there are a few books that, which I actually don't have that. That's one of the, but it's an expensive book. But there's a book that's called the Quithoth that is the dark tree, where there's another that's the lighter tree, and it starts with an F or S, and I can't remember how to say it properly. Sithoth, yeah, something. But that's the lighter tree. This, we're representing the darker tree, so the Quithoth. But each deity represents a limb or a tree branch. And the tree branch then represents a tunnel, a cave, a dimension, a realm, a path, okay? You work through each of them to get to the next one because everything is connected to the base, okay? And the base roots are that current, that foundation that you're gathering from everything else. Again, outer branch, inner trunk, roots, okay? They literally blend everything together when it comes to Draconian magic, and I absolutely love it. Trying to think if there's anything else as far as like that. Draconian magic is an initiate-based practice if you work within what they call a temple. I will say this right now. If anyone is interested in learning a lot of information on Draconian magic, the Temple of Ascending Flame is a fantastic group to get into. Mason, she's an amazing author. She has this Temple of Ascending Flame group that I've gotten so much information on. I'm a part of her temple, by the way. Yes, I am part of it. And it's done online, but you email her your journal entries and your workings, and the workings take place over, like, the very first one to be initiated. It's a 7-day working with Lucifer. It's not an easy base. You gotta find the time. I know I've lacked over a year, okay? I've already gotten talked to because my workings, aren't coming in as frequently as they used to, but I took over doing my workings over a year span. So it's not as bad. And she lets you do that, which is really good. She has a lot of books. Like, a lot of books, okay? And I'm going to show you them here. Now, this style of path is also considered, it's also called Nightshade. So if you ever find a book on Amazon and it's called Nightshade, it's representing the Draconian path, okay? I already said all that. It's not a path for the faint of heart either. Just like Draconic magic, Draconian magic is also not for the faint of heart. It requires a lot of sacrifice. And I'm not talking about blood. I'm about time and energy. Dedication and a strong will to reach your ultimate transformation, okay? It is a godhood. It is a selfish practice for your highest good. It is not meant to help anyone else. It is not meant to guide anyone else. You're not meant to do anything for anyone else. It is only for you and you only, okay? I will also say this. So Draconian magic, a lot of people link because of the deities that fall under this path. They link it too much to demonology or demonic magic. It can fall both ways. But keep this in mind, okay? What demon magic represents as a god or as a deity, and I'm going to use Leviathan as a great example, okay? Because he is one of my mains. If you work with Leviathan in demon magic, you then have to look at what style of demon magic you're looking at. Are you looking at Legion style? Are you looking at the Goetia? Or are you looking at the other one? I still can't remember how to say it right, but it is the original. All of those Leviathans don't exist, okay? The only Leviathan that exists is within the Legion demon magic, and he is considered a protector of Lucifer and of the realms. So if you're trying to access something like a portal or a dimension, you have to go through him first. And you have to prove that you're going to do no harm to anyone else or to yourself in doing it. So that's where he's represented in demonic form. But if you look at Leviathan, when it comes to Draconian magic, he is a serpent that is to represent a water element who gives soul representation of, ready for this? Chaos. Okay? So even in demon magic, he's represented as a protector, a guardian of a gate, or gates. But in Draconian magic, he's a chaos dragon. Okay? He's not meant to be happy-go-lucky. You have chaos in your life and working in Draconian magic, and he's going to show you the chaos that you need to go through your trials on. Okay? So that's why I said, yes, you're going to see certain demons have, certain demons are going to be part of Draconian magic, but does not mean they're demonic in Draconian magic. So please keep that in mind, okay? Because as much as I work within demon magic, I know the difference between when I work with him for Draconian magic and within the current and the Quithoth, and when I work with him in the Legion, because it's not the same. Now, his symbolism, his sigils are, by the way, the same, but his representation is not, if that makes sense. Just like Tiamat is represented in both also the Legion and Draconian, where in Draconian she's represented as the All-Mother, okay, where she was killed by her son, chopped up in little pieces and scattered all over the earth, scattered all over the planet, creating earth, creating the heavens, created the hell, created the trees, created the first creature, created the water, created the mountains, okay? That's how she's represented in Draconian, where in demon magic, Tiamat, which I'm still learning on my demon magic, so hold on. I'll actually pull my handy demon book, and I will tell you what she's represented as after I find her. Just give me a second. What page is she on? Watch her not be in this one, because I grabbed her one. I know you guys are just like, oh my gosh, woman, hurry up. So she is represented as a feminine archine that is of a higher self being of confidence. Okay? That's what she represents in here. So she's a confidence. So anytime you need to like take that leap into something, she's there to have your back. Like, you can do this, you got this. That's what I like about the Legion magic, or Legion demonic magic. It's not as dark as people think. It's actually quite neutral. I like it. So now the books I want to show you. And I'm gonna take pictures of everything, but let me make sure I separate which ones are temples. Is she a temple? Yes, she's temple and non-temples. Okay, so I'll show that one last. So this is, if you type in Draconian magic, this book is going to be the first one that comes up. It's the Draconian ritual book by Mason, and I'm just gonna pull it up. Okay, I know it's backwards. I'm sorry, guys, but she has this book. Now, this is not a book that I'm like, hey, get this book. It's great. This book hurts a lot, and I've never seen a beginner get through this book. You wanna know why? Because I'm still not through the book all the way. I'm like halfway. Where's my marker? Where's my marker? Oh, there it is. This is where I'm at, okay? You see that? I'm halfway through this, okay? Because it's not a book you could just hurry up and do all the rituals and call it a day. There's a lot of activation to things. There's a lot of meditation into things. There's a lot of journaling into this, by the way, because you have to be able to go back. There's a lot of dream work in this book, a lot of astral travel in this book. It's a lot, okay? And I will be the first one. I was not ready when I tried to tap into this stuff years ago. I've had this book for a very long time, by the way. So not for the faint of heart. This is more of an advanced level book, okay? Just so you know. Now, ones that are not advanced level, okay? If you want to learn more on Tiamat, which I recommend because she is one of the hires within the Quithoth of the Dark Tree, is the Grimoire of Tiamat, okay? And I know it's backwards, but this is what it looks like on the cover. From the same author, Mason. Fantastic book. If you also type in Temple of the Ascending Flame, if you go on her page, her website, there we go. If you go on her website, all her books are on there. So you can figure out which ones you want, and then you just go to Amazon. They're on Amazon. Now, these books sell out fast, so sometimes you just got to kind of put it in your little, like, I want little lists and stuff, and just wait until it comes available again. There's a few books that I have on hold, like waiting, because they sold out so quick. They only make so many of them, and I'm totally cool with that because I like it to be more of a rare type of book than everyone having it and pretending they know what they're doing and just getting themselves hurt in the end. We don't want that. But this is a Tiamat. It's called Grimoires of Tiamat, okay? Then, if you want to focus with Lilith, because I know a lot of people love working with Lilith. She's fantastic. Remember, though, this is the darker side of Lilith. She's the dark, feminine archine, or archetype, I can never say that, archetype, whatever. She's the darker, okay, feminine base, so keep that in mind. She's not meant to be a sex goddess or anything like that. She's a succubus. That's what she is, okay, so keep that in mind. But there's this one, Lilith. Great book, also by Mason, okay, Temple, and you can see it right here, Temple of the Ascending Flame. This is their book, okay? So it has their rituals that they have. Like, you see my bookmarks in here too. I'm right now on her Holy Grail part. I work within my limits. I don't try and speed through things. I don't rush. I branch. I take time. I rest. I recover. Always things. Then if you're, like me, and you like working within Lucifer, here's another one by the Temple of Ascending Flames, The Rites of Lucifer, okay? There's another one for you guys. Then there is an Egyptian style one. It is a Draconian Egyptian grimoire by Bill Draconic. Again, I'm going to put all these because I can't pronounce some last names because people can't pronounce my last name. But this is also, it's not a Temple Ascending Flame book, but he is fantastic. He pulls it 100% from the current but Egyptian style. So this is fantastic too. Symbolism's all there. Exactly what you need. Here's your double edge. Here's your infinity. All symbolisms that go hand in hand with the Draconic current. It's a great book to have. Okay? Highly recommend this book once you get started into it. Then, if you want to read a little bit more about the Quithoth, this does go a little bit in a blend of Demon and Draconian. It is the Draconian Goetia. But this is a good one too. Okay? This is one of my newer books that just came out. It was published not too long ago. So this is really good also, just so you know. And again, I'll put this on there. And it's a small book, but it has a lot of the sigils of some of the higher beings that fall within it. But just an idea. But it does fall into the Draconic current, even though they are demons. Okay? Different side of things. Oh, you said it. I'm like, I couldn't remember how to say his name. But you know exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with his book. And I can't wait to actually break like more into the ritual base as soon as I finish with the demonic book of the Legion that I'm working on right now. But yeah, so those are just a few. Again, these are the darker books. Sorry guys. I wish I still had my dragon books. I don't work within that. So when I'm done with something, I usually pass it on to someone that can utilize it or use it. I do apologize for that I don't have anything. But if you need books, I'd be more than happy to get you the titles of the books if it comes to the Draconic magic and the dragon magic. And you already seen all the Draconian books that I have. I love books. And this is only just a tiny bit of the books that are out there for the Temple of the Ascending Flame, which is where a lot of my basis comes from, because Mason, she knows her stuff. And she's fantastic. She does have an accent. She's not from the States at all. And her workings are workings. They're not, let me do a little paragraph here and call it a day. No, they're pages and pages. Like, she wants to see you work at it. She wants to see your vision. She wants to make sure you're within the same current as she is. So it's really cool. Yeah. Let me go back on the things real quick. Okay, so does anyone have any questions? Okay, Patricia, I could definitely get that for you. You're talking about the dragon books and the Draconic books, like the lighter and the neutral books, right? I could definitely get that for you. See, now that fascinates me, Linda, because I'm gonna have to look into this now, because I would love to get another version of something besides what Mason does. I would really love to get someone else's view on things as more of a lecture. You know what I mean? To hear it. Because I love information. Even if it's something that I don't use, I love it. Okay, no problem. I'll get that. Give me like today or tomorrow, because I have a lot going on with WoW. Getting names and stuff sorted. But does anyone have any questions? What did you guys think? Like I said, I know it's not for everyone. It's not going to be for everyone, but it is great information to have. And just to know that there are mythological beings out there that you can work in and work with is fantastic. Like, you could work with sirens. Like, water priestesses really do work with sirens. Like, no, that's not a lie. It's a real thing. Why are you so awesome? Well, you know, I'm just lucky, I guess. I'm lying. I'm totally BSing, guys. I'm not anything but me. Oh, I'm glad, Stephanie. I'm glad. Well, if no one has any questions, I am going to log off. I've taken enough of your time tonight. As he says, this is so different from what I've learned in the 4 dragons. I'm so fascinated. Aren't you the one that you were part of a clan, right? See, now that yeah. Well, you already established that we need to talk, because I'm very fascinated what you know versus what I know. Because like I said, if you Google things and you look at just these 3, they either blend together or they're completely different. It just really throws people off. And I always feel people need to know that there are 3 different types, and they are not the same. One works solely with dragons, one works with dragons and then the energy itself, and the other one is completely, literally left hand, left ball field, and it's very dark. Oh, that's all right. I always got a lot on my plate. Trying to figure out best multitasking. Just wait until I tell you some new stuff that just happened to me today too. I would love books recommendations on sirens. If you have any, they are my favorites. Ooh, I can get you siren books. That's not an issue. I love mythological creatures. Love them. I love listening to audio of the water, the shores, that you will literally hear sirens off the coasts of multiple lands. I can tell something must be up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was something from earlier this morning that I'm like, something else to add to my task list. All right, so I'm going to end it. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm really happy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for participating and asking questions. It's always easier when someone asks questions or just makes comments. So I have something to look at. So I know you're all still there. I think my next live is a tea live. It's my Dragon Tea Time. It's been a minute since I've done Dragon Tea Time. So I'm really excited. I'm going to bring you guys a new tea that I've created for everyone to be able to keep in their own grimoire or their own book of shadows. So I'm really excited. So I will be updating exactly what the ingredients that you're going to need. I'm still working on perfecting it because it's got to taste good. You can't just have something, can't do that. I mean, I gotta top Winter's Hearth with you guys, so I gotta get the good ones. But yeah, so that'll be my next one, will be a Dragon Tea Time. So I'm really excited about that. And it'll be a healing styling tea. So healing, though spiritually healing, not healing medicinally. Because you know me, I don't do medicinal teas. It's not my thing. I'm a spiritualist. Everything I do is based off of practice. So, okay. So I'm out. I will see you guys, in a few weeks. All right, guys. Namaste. Have a great morning, afternoon, or night. Bye.